Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. We are in month 3 for Village Green. It's time to put this clue together. We're getting ready to wrap up Piazza. That happens this month. We get to end Piazza and see what the final clue looks like, and we're just kind of getting started. We're getting started with. I say, you know, it's month 3. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and put together month 3 for Village Green and see what this clue looks like. Okay, I've got everything collected for month 3. I have my clue packet. I, of course, have my fabric guide, and then I have the large clue number 3 for Village Green. And I've got my wool pressing mat and, of course, my mini iron, which is going to go off here in a second, telling me that it's heated up because I was getting it ready for this. But anyways, let's go ahead and open up month 3 and see what's included. And as a reminder, I'm working on the Aster colorway for Village Green. Really loving how this colorway is coming out so far, and I can't wait to see what this clue looks like when we're finished. Let's go ahead and I'm trying to separate out the clue here. Here we go. We've got our first fabric here. This is fabric E. We have 8 small triangles of fabric E. We have 8 small triangles of fabric B. We have 16 small triangles of fabric C. We have 8 small squares of fabric A. We have 8 large triangles of fabric D. We have 8 large triangles of fabric B. And lastly, we have 4 large squares of fabric F. That's everything that's included in this packet. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the table next to me, and we'll get started with step number 1. All right, we're going to be making section 3, and the instructions tell us how to make all 4. We're going to be making 4 of section 3. And our instructions tell us how to make all of them at the same time. Let's go ahead and start off with step number 1, which says to join a small C triangle to opposite sides of an F square. We're going to press it, and then we're going to join small C triangles to the remaining 2 sides of the F square. And we're going to make 4 of these in total. So let's talk a little bit. If you've joined me on the Puzzle Mystery Quilts before, you know how to work on these, but if you've never done a Puzzle Mystery Quilt before, let's talk about how to get these centered, because if I was to try and sew this just like this, there's a little bit of space on either side of my C triangles that don't align with my F square, and that can cause some problems when you try to line everything up. So let's talk about how to make that not such a pain. All right, so here are our pieces again, our F square and our C triangles. And to get them to line up well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my F square and I'm going to fold it immediately in half, directly in half, immediately in half, however you want to say that. And I'm going to use my iron and I'm going to go ahead and put a crease in it. Now, normally you would not want to put a crease into your fabric, but this is going to help us as we align our pieces together. So we have I've folded it right side to right side, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my triangles and I'm actually going to fold them wrong side to wrong side. I keep wanting to say like right side to right side to wrong side. We're going to go ahead and fold them, and I'm going to pinch right here where our center is. And now what I can do is I can take that center fold and I can line them up exactly in the same place. And that's how I know where my placement of my triangle needs to be. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to go ahead and fold it so that wrong sides are together. I'm going to fold it in half, pinch right there at the point, opposite the point actually. And again, I fit it right into that slot. So now I have a way to line everything up. I'm going to do the exact same thing when I come to do these sides. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to fold that F square in half, give it a nice crease, then crease my other 2 triangles when I'm doing that, and when I'm ready to, and then I will sew those on as well, and they will line up as well. And that gives you as close to perfect as I've been able to find a way to line those up. So I'm going to go ahead and sew all these together. I'm not going to come back in between. I'm just going to go ahead and sew all of my pieces together. So I'm going to come back when I'm finished pressing out my 2 sides that I'm adding on. So join me back here and we'll get moving on to step 2. Okay, I have sewn all those together. We're pressing away from our center F block towards our C triangles. And as you can see, I feel like I did a pretty good job with that. That trick really helps to straighten them up and get them nice like such. So there we go. There is all of those. We'll move on to step 2. All right, moving on to step 2, it says to sew a small triangle of B to the top right of a large triangle D. We're going to press that, and then we add our triangle of B to the top left. We're going to make 4 of these in total, so grab 4 of your D triangles, and then you'll need 2 for each side of that, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put these together, and I'll come back when I finish pressing out our second triangle. Okay, I'm pressing out towards my B fabric. And I've gotten all 4 of those made just like this. There we go. All right, so we have completed all 4 of our flying geese for step 2. Let's move on to step 3. Okay, moving on to step number 3, it says to join a small triangle of E to the top of a small square of A. We're going to press that, and then we're going to add a second triangle of E to the left of A, and we're going to make 4 of these in total. So we're just going to combine them so that they make a large triangle when put all together, just like this. I'm going to go ahead and take this over, sew this up, and I'll meet you back when I'm finishing up pressing out all of these as you see as such. I don't know why I'm still talking, so let's do the things. Okay, I have sewn all 4 of those together. I have pressed away from my A square towards my E fabric, and I have 4 that look like this. All right, cool. We are good with that. We're gonna set these off to, I don't know, I'm feeling a little weird today, but that's okay. We're gonna move on to step number 4. Honestly, I think it's my allergies that are getting to me. All right, moving on to step number 4. It says to join a large D triangle and B triangle on the short side with D on the left and B on the right. So we're going to do that just like this. It does warn us on step number 4 to take care not to stretch when pressing. So we've got to be careful whenever we're ironing these out not to stretch them. And same when you're putting it through the machine. We are going to be working with some biased edges on this step and the next step. So just be careful whenever you're working on these. Try not to stretch out the material, but we're going to put 4 of them together just as such. So we'll take this over to the sewing machine and I will come back and meet you when it's time to press it all out. Okay, I have sewn all of those together and we're pressing towards our B fabric, and I'm actually pressing them how I would half square triangles, because again, that really helps with the warping. So I'm going up, down, over, and that should really help out with that warping factor, keeping it at a minimum. At least I found whenever I do that, it seems to help out a little bit. All right, there are our 4 of those DB triangles. Let's go ahead and move on to step 5. All right, moving on to step number 5, it says to sew a step 4 unit to a step 4 unit to a step 3 unit along the long sides. We're making a half square triangle that has all of these pieces in it. So we're just going to put them together just like this. We're going to do that 4 times, and then we're going to be pressing it towards our EA side, and we'll do that 4 times. All right, I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and do that right now. All right, I have sewn all 4 of those together. I am now pressing towards my EAE triangle. I almost said rectangle. Triangle. So we're going to be pressing in this direction. And it may kind of warp up on you a little bit. That is okay. There's a lot of bulk right in the center of this piece. So it may take a few minutes to kind of flatten it out and manhandle it a little bit. But there you go. There's all 4 of those. They look just like this. Let's go ahead and move on to step 6. All right, moving on to step 6, it says to join a step 2 to the left of a step 1. So here's our step 1, here's our step 2. So we're going to join these 2 just like this. Then it says to add a step 5 to the right. So we're going to add on the step 5 over here to make 1 long row just like this. So we're going to do that 4 times with all the clues that we've created, or all the pieces of the clue that we've created, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and sew all 4 of those together, and I'll come back when it's time to press it out. Okay, I have sewn all 4 together, and now I'm pressing away from our step 1 block. You press away from it, out towards your other two creations, blocks, whatever you want to call them. I never know what to call them. Do I call them clues? Do I call them blocks? I don't know. Anyways, there is all 4 of our finished creations. They look like this. I like that we have our D triangles pointing away from our C and F piece there, and that's what we got. This is what it looks like for our clue number 3. I'm going to go ahead and label these as either clue 3 or section 3, whatever makes you happiest. I'm going to go ahead and label those as such, and we'll be ready for next month. This is April. We'll be ready for May and clue number 4.